All right. Hey, listeners. How y'all doing?
Let me sit up. You caught me slouching.
Not, I know. I know that countdown is long. I don't know if I want to change it, make it like a
Caught me
little
slipping like this
shorter or whatever.
past.
I don't know.
You
Give
should
people time to show
intercut
up.
it with some clips from the show.
I know. I thought about doing that, but I don't know. I like the regular countdown. You know,
Mm.
that's a lot of work, Jay. Look, I had to get all the clips, and then I gotta get somebody to do it because I ain't no editor.
Listen, I'm suggesting some stuff that you can do. I would, because I can't do it. I just
Right.
do that.
I mean, I could if I apply myself. But anyway, hey guys, how y'all doing? I really wanted to talk about this. Okay, so I'm here with my mutuals here on YouTube. Okay, here's the entertains. How y'all doing? How you doing?
Oh my
I'm,
god!
and I'm also here while Ebby reviews. What's going on? I'm very surprised that you showed up today. I don't think you ever been on the show.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, we both was on El Teddy's. El Teddy's supposed to be here, child. He came. He always fashionably late.
Yeah.
I did want his take on this conversation. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Honk for Jesus, Save Your Life. This was something, and I know I'm late in the game, child, because this came out like early this month,
like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
I just saw it.
Yeah, and I just saw it like a good week ago. And usually, what I like to do when I watch movies that is very thought provoking like this is, I like to look at what people are talking about on YouTube and stuff like that to get like a consensus of like, all right, once you watch some shit, you want to be like, all right, let me get somebody, because somebody explain what I just watched, because this was not your run of the mill comedy, whatever you want to call this. At this point.
No.
And I didn't see much conversation on it, so I wanted to have it. I wanted to have the conversation. Okay. So, for those who don't know, we are going to get into heavy spoilers. So, be warned. If you haven't watched the film, go watch it and come back here. Honk for Jesus, Save Your Life is a satirical comedy that explores the complex nuances of Black megachurch culture. Okay. The story is about this pastor and his first lady that's trying to rebuild their congregation, going through this huge scandal. Spoiler alert: the pastor was messing around with boys that he was mentoring with.
Shout out to, I forgot the actor name. I like
Sterling K. Brown.
Not him. Well, them too. Well, shout out to Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall.
Yeah.
But I meant the guy that played the young guy. He's been in a few things, and he's actually a really good actor.
I've seen him somewhere. I don't
something know. Curate. I forgot his first name. First name, but he's actually a really good actor. I like
Xavier. He is. I seen him. I don't know.
I've seen him in quite a number of things.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing. That young man.
And he had a moment towards the end. I guess we'll get into it. When we get into it. But instead of like how we usually do, like the review.
Yes, Austin Curate. Thank you. I like Austin that guy.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely look him up.
Why did I pronounce that in my head? It's Crute, like he's.
I think it's Curate. I think I'm saying it right.
Curate.
I think it's pronounced that way. I could be wrong.
Well, you know how I'm bad with names, so I could. So instead of like going through the motions and like going through like the whole synopsis of the film, I start off with the discussion questions, and we'll just go off on that. And I know you guys have your own specific takes on the film. I know we talked about this. You had your opinions, and I'm ready for them. We ready for them?
I think it's gonna be unpopular, but it is okay. What it is.
No. Look.
So let's start with the elephant in the room.
Okay.
That this is a satirical. That's based on the life of Bishop Eddie Long.
Is it?
That's what this is. If you knew the things that happened, if you watch this movie, because at one part of the movie I was like, oh, and the light bulb came on for me, and I was like, oh, this is it. That's what this is. Okay, but yeah,
right. I thought, because this was like a 30 or 15 minute like YouTube video spoof thing that I think Issa Rae's entertainment company did a long time ago, and they actually made this into a movie. So that's what I thought the movie was based off of. That's because I did research on it. But you're saying it's actually based off an actual person. I mean, that's your
Bishop Teddy
Oh,
Long.
they
I
went there.
don't know if I don't know if he has since passed away.
Mm-hmm.
The bishop has passed away, but yes, this
Mm.
runs parallel, almost identically, to what happened at his church.
Oh wow.
Now he was able to rebound and come back,
Mm-hmm.
and the church was prospering at the time of his demise. But absolutely,
Mm. Okay. Wow. Well, for starters.
I don't know what flavor he was molesting. It's
I
still
don't know
running.
what flavor of the boy. There were little black boys too.
Right. Because I know Xavier saying Mexican boy. Oh, child, that's messy. But what was your guys' thoughts of the film overall? We'll start there.
It made me sad.
It made you say it.
It made me very sad.
Mm.
As a believer who goes to church. Now I don't go to a mega church, but the church that I attended before I started the church that I'm at now, I was there when it was tiny and grew into a large church. There was a scandal, and now the church is no more. So I've lived through this. So and it makes me sad. It makes me very sad. Like why you niggas can't act right? Like y'all just
Mm-mm.
it's just impossible. Like you just have no control. You have control over everything else. You can talk and believe the Lord for everything else, but controlling your dick just seems like it's just beyond y'all. Like I don't like where's you got self control for everything else, but where's your self control in this regard?
Right.
Why is this always the stumbling block? Not necessarily so much messing with little boys, but why is sex the thing that's always the block that tends to trip? It's either the sex or the money. That's the thing that trips you up.
Right.
I thought it was a good it was really interesting and fun fact. I don't know if y'all know this. Y'all Regina Hall actually wanted to be a nun. Google it. In the early 2000s, she wanted to be a nun, but I forgot why she didn't do it.
Oh, she really wanted to be a nun, like an actual nun.
Like Sister Mary Clarence nun.
Where they
stop acting and be a nun. But
Xavier, that's not true because I know of LGBT mega church in Atlanta right now that has a pastor and a first husband. So no, that's not true.
Yeah. But I mean, there's lots of. I mean, I've seen.
It would be difficult, but it's not impossible.
It's not right. I like that it brought it to the light, but I'll be completely honest. And I told Darren this. Yes, there is a lot of churches, not even just black churches that they preach one thing, they do another. I'll tell y'all my experience backstage because I don't want to
right.
people, but yes, this is good. Like y'all, we were even saying backstage. Yes, it's great to bring it to the light. Yes, this is happening, but in the same hand, I want to see positivity out the church, and there definitely is. I think some people glorify the bad from the church instead of the good. Will I say this showed good? Not necessarily. And especially now, how funny this movie comes out when we're dealing with people with the bishop guy. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm treating him like the candy man. I don't talk about him. I don't know whose God he's serving, but it ain't mine. The other one that was talking, I don't know who God he's serving, but it ain't mine. Miss Mamas that was talking about broke people the other day. I don't talk about her either.
Oh, that.
That one's a liar, and the truth ain't. She couldn't even recognize the truth. It was standing in her face.
Now I don't know if you already brought up one, but the one that was seen choking somebody.
That's him.
Was seen choking. The one that spit in his brother's mouth.
Lord, geez. Oh, I think I
remember
the
one that is on Twitter got 3,000.
Oh,
it's so much bad being brought into the light. And yes, like we said, bring it into the light, but where is the good?
Right.
Because what it does is it affects people that really and truly want to believe in God and want to go to church.
Mm-hmm.
It affects people like that.
But I really want y'all to understand that's 1% of the pastors that are out here.
Yeah,
right. It's not like I believe it. That's what I'm saying. I would love to see positivity, even in the stuff that we watch, like this movie P Valley, where Patrice Woodbine, shout out to Harriet D. Ford, who does a great job portraying that character, but she ain't all there for God either.
Yeah.
And like I'm saying, yes, there are people like this, but I would love to see in the media the ones
that's not salacious. That's not going to get people don't care about.
Yeah,
I know that's what I'm actually going to say that. I actually believe that people don't care about that, but to the ones that do, they should have a representation. And I'm not talking about no corny what's it called, faith flicks or whatever. I'm not talking about
not faithless.
I'm talking about a good representation in a show. You know,
it's possible, but I think where we're at now, a lot of people. A lot of people are not into the church right now. It's become popular, which teach his own. But unless you're trying to watch a Tyler Perry flick, that's the only way. That's the only reason why I want. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only way you're gonna get that type of representation that you're talking about. I think that this is a movie that I thought was just gonna be a comedy. And it ended up being serious at moments, which kind of
like a black comedy.
Yeah, but when I got to watching it, because I watched it with my parents too, which
I'm not.
Lord, listen, I think I need to sit my parents down and let them watch this.
my mom would not.
Tell y'all this is all types of this is blasphemy.
I'm not gonna watch this.
I literally thought I did not know that this film was gonna be like this. I thought it was just gonna be some funny scandal. They was gonna get through it and boop, Bobby Bing, everything's good. Like no, it got deep. It got serious, and
it got real heavy.
Yeah,
it really did.
Which made me think, like, oh my goodness, like this is definitely a thought-provoking movie or film or whatever. But
it just reinforced the fact that I know for a fact I'm not first lady material.
Yeah. Now you said something earlier before I segue. You said something earlier. You said this is something that's hurtful because this had happened to you and with a scandal at a church. But like,
you mean
my question is no, you, Evie.
Oh, you.
Yeah, but like, why did it? Like, my question is, why does it have to end because of a scandal? It's like, is no coming back from a scandal. You can't just address like, hey, I did this, unless whatever it was. If it was something that was completely like horrible, like you.
No, it's not. It wasn't even that. It wasn't something that he could have came back from. It's that he is unrepentant to this day about what it is that he did.
Okay.
And so you can't preach to me, and I don't trust you to be the caretaker of my soul, which is your job as the angel of the house, as the pastor. If I know for a fact you not following what you're saying. If you not about the word you speaking, because I've always been taught the word comes to the pastor to correct the pastor first, and then he brings it to the rest of the congregation. And if the strong word is not convicting you, the pastor, to do right, like, why are you? What's even the point of you being up there? Because you are held to as a pastor. However unfair it is, you are held to a higher standard than the simple layperson in the church. And if you have no self-control, if you are a liar, if you can't be fidelis to your wife, how am I supposed to take that? All of those commands coming from you, standing in the pulpit, if I know that you're not doing any of those things.
Right.
So,
I mean,
listen, because I'm related to the pastor and the first lady of that church. So this is family stuff
Right.
that happens.
Okay.
So and it made me angry because, and I was triggered because my father was a pastor and my mother was a first lady, and there was a scandal, and that dissolved their marriage. And I hold a lot of rage towards that situation. So when it happened again in another church,
right.
now my father was repentant. He stepped down. He tried to get himself together. All of those things, and make the corrections and get himself together. He never was a pastor again after that. He was still a man of God. He still loved the word, all of those good things. But he was never back. He never put himself back into that pastoral situation. This other nigga is trying to sweep it under the rug, like, and gaslight people like we didn't see what we saw, that we don't know what we know. And
Right.
he's still trying to play the game and all of those things. Sir, you finna go to jail. Like, I don't.
It's a
And he's trying to build a new following in a different state that don't know about what happens here.
Yeah.
So that when you do come out of the big house.
So he's not willing to be upfront about his do. Okay. So I think someone that's remorseful deserves some type of whatever. But someone that's trying to cover it up and then trying to go somewhere else, okay, yeah, I can see how that could be problematic.
Trouble.
We got
Here comes trouble.
Chow. Teddy done came up in here. Chow. What's up?
What's up, y'all?
Hey. And it's a sense of pride, to be honest, when a lot of these pastors and bishops, but like I said, I've been through some stuff like this too, where they ask this man, a church I used to go to, they asked this man to step down, and he say, "I'm not stepping down." He said, "If I step down, everybody's gonna leave." He had a sense of pride, like, you're God, okay. So because it's you think the church is not gonna go on because of all the stuff that you did. You don't think that you're gonna have to answer to God? Like you it's a sense of pride, and it's like very cloudy. And in the movie, they kind of show that too. It wasn't just the sex scandal. It was like, look at all the cars I drive. Look, I got a basketball court in my big old mansion and whatnot. Look at my fly ass wife and her beautiful Sunday garments and whatnot.
You know what it gave? It gave that one pastor that was talking about like, oh, well, I know how y'all don't treat God well because look how you treat me. He was talking about trying to get a new watch or something like that.
I'm gonna tell you what. When I watched it, I think that what they tried to do with this pastor is have him embody satirically, through satire, beautifully done, traits that we see in several different pastors that have gone awry. Like it was the ones that have the sex scandals, the ones that are all about money and opulence, the ones who think who have a godlike complex, the one who think that nobody can preach like that. He kind of, or the ones who were even in how he interacted with his wife, because you do have those type of pastors that and how they interact, especially with women and their wives, they're very, in some cases, even abusive in how they speak to and interact. So he embodied that. And I think one thing that I like that they did was that the younger couple was you could see that they were following in the same step. And you kind of felt like that they were going to go down that same road. I don't know. I came in a minute. I'm sorry for my lady. I had a meeting and I had to crack some skull.
We still on the first question.
Oh, okay. What was the first question?
What was your thoughts? What was your overall thoughts on the film?
Oh, my overall thoughts. I love when you can use satire to beautifully, show people who they are. Put the mirror up and say, this is who you are. And I think people had a problem with a show like Greenleaf because Greenleaf was not satire; it was drama.
Yeah.
So it felt more like in your face and real, whereas this was meant to be satire. But in satire, there's truth there. There's that putting up the hey, here's the mirror. This is what y'all giving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that that's so important for me. The reason why I kind of like because I like the film, it's important to see that because we need to know that we're dealing with a real big problem with the black church. When you see a lot of the people, the real famous ones being problematic, and not a lot of accountability is being thrown at them. They're not being held to a certain accountability. So I think that this film is important. It starts a good conversation. Now I will say about the comedy. And this will segue into the next question. Do you think that it went too far? Because we were expecting something completely different. Well, I know I can speak for myself. I was expecting something completely different. I didn't think it was going to go this far. I was wow. I did not know they was going to go there. Do you feel like the plot twist was intentional, and were they trying to like get people to watch it because they thought, oh, this is going to be a regular little church movie that's funny, and they got a little scandal, they get over it?
For me, I was wondering because Sterling Brown, we know him for like This Is Us and serious movies.
Yeah.
But when you have Regina Hall, I was like, I looked to Regina Hall for the satire. And what they did for me, the great writing was Sterling Brown was the more satirical of the two, and Regina Hall was the more serious of the things that was brought out by Regina Hall were much more serious,
Yeah.
whereas the things that Sterling K. Brown kind of highlighted were much more satirical. And I like that they kind of tossed it up like that kind of like threw it like topsy turvy. So I really like that.
I mean, it shows how well versed these actors are. I love Regina Hall's performance, even though she was kind of funny too. She was giving.
Oh, she was very funny.
Yeah, when she was having those little words with that girl at the mall, and they was like going.
That scene right there is why I couldn't be a first lady because I'd have cussed that girl smooth. I'd have cussed. She'd have been like, "First lady, bitch."
I love her praise dancing. That was funny.
Yeah,
It was funny and sad at the same time.
It was so sad.
Oh my god. Okay, so I might have to leave in a few minutes because I forgot I have a show that I'm supposed to be doing in a minute. But I did want to touch on this before I get out of here. The conversation with Regina Hall and her mama.
Oh,
I don't remember.
That's the thing that took me.
Yeah, I was
because I was raised. This is how I was raised. That you are always supposed to be the good wife. You're not always going to love your spouse. Love is runs in a cycle, and when the love runs out, your commitment to the relationship is supposed to kick in until the love comes back around. And all of those things, and you're supposed to work it out, and it's always reconciliation and all those things. Now, I have a line in the sand, and my line in the sand is fidelity. If you step outside of our marriage, it is over. There is no talking. There is no we trying to get back together. I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm not forgiving you. It's over. It's like you died. I'm so sorry. And to have her mother know what this scandal is about him being with boys and to counsel her to stay. That hurt my feelings.
Yeah. But why, you know what?
Why would you
do that? The church are gonna say forget. It's gonna say forget and forgive.
No, I'm not forgetting.
And you know what? To me, that conversation was a hard one. But to me, the thing that was the gut punch to me was when he made her go put on that the mime stuff.
The mime outfit.
Right.
And you saw, and it was so metaphorical where it was like, here it embodied what a first lady has to do and what she had to do as a first lady. She had, every time she went to church, she had to put on the mask and just do this dance for the people. Yeah. Literally, It was so metaphorical. Her having to put on this mask, get out there and dance on the side of the road for the people because her
Wow,
husband,
that's
who is the pastor, was making her do it. And that was really what she had to do every day as the first lady. I think more so than anything, the movie shed light on what first ladies go through because
Yeah.
they're often forgotten and people really don't think about all of the stuff that goes into
And
being a
maybe the
first
key
lady.
role in the success of the pastor because they
Hmm.
like we've seen the scene with her trying to like you got to get more energy. More energy. It's got to look more real. Like she coached him in that way. I
Hmm.
thought was definitely interesting and I enjoyed watching. That was the more better parts of the film. It seemed wholesome. But like I said, like it was a lot of jokes. I mean, do you feel like they went a little too far though?
No,
I
not to
don't think
me.
so. Mm-mm. It
Because
wasn't
sometimes
disrespectful.
when you mix a serious type of movie like this with comedy, I always felt weird. Like I remember I watched this one film when I was in one of my film classes, and I forgot the name of it, but it was about the Holocaust, but it was a comedy. Like I was like, how y'all,
That
how we mix
that's
this?
not
I forgot
funny.
the name, but it's a movie out there. It's about this father and his son. Is trying to the father's trying to pretend like they're not going through what they're going through, and they go
Sounds
through the
familiar.
motions throughout the movie to try to. Although this is just camp. This is just camp. I was like, this is.
Oh my god, that sounds very familiar. I don't know the name of it though. I never watched it, but I've heard of this movie before.
Yeah. Like, so it makes you feel, it gives you this eerie feeling when
Not
you're
Jojo
watching.
Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit was good though. I don't think it was Jojo Rabbit.
I don't know the title.
I don't. I just I didn't think it went too far. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think it just scratched the surface because there are so many things
Mm-hmm.
that the black church has chosen to um ignore and try to put a band-aid on for so many years. And yeah, it's kind of I don't think they went far enough because
Mm-hmm.
they could go a lot further.
Well, I meant far as in making it like a comedy. Like, should it have just been serious or just been a comedy? You get what I'm saying? Because the two coexist.
I don't think people. I really don't think that it would have been, even though it's not really accepted now, or there's a lot of people that have a lot to say about it now. But I can only imagine if it was just all serious, what
Mm-hmm.
would have been said. Because, like I said, I think about Greenleaf and how churches around America were telling people to boycott. They were writing letters to Oprah Winfrey and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of stuff. Like they were like livid. They were like, "No, we're not watching. Oh, we're not watching." Oh, it was really bad. So
Yeah.
I think it would have been worse if it was just dramatic instead of satire or comedy. That's just my thoughts.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, this conversation is
I
definitely
won't compare
nuanced.
it to Medea. I think those are two different. I won't compare it to Medea.
It's,
The reason that I say I don't compare it to Medea either is because there's comedy and then there's satire,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and Medea is comedy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this is satire because satires have a lot more symbolism and
Mm-hmm.
metaphors and underlying things in it. It's real layered, whereas comedy sometimes is just surface comedy.
Yeah.
Surface comedy. And Tyler Perry knows how to pivot through that, right? Like we know, okay, this scene is supposed to be serious. There's nothing funny about this scene. This scene is supposed to be funny. Nothing serious about this scene. Like this movie, like you sit there and start laughing at a little gag or whatever, and then it hits you with serious, and it's just like, oh,
Hmm.
like that makes you almost feel bad for laughing. Like,
Yep. Because what about that scene where when the cute guy came with the dreads and they was in the field and you thought he was for to invite old boy into one of them
right?
into the church, and then next thing you know, you saw that he was doing.
No, my mom was looking at this. She was like, "You better run, boy." I'm like,
He was like, "All right, well, I got to go back."
But this is, I mean, like I said, like this is serious. Like this is assault. I mean, I don't know if did he go all the way with those boys, or he was
Did they say exactly what he did, or they just hinted?
They just hinted.
I want to say I don't think it was ever fully said.
Right.
Yeah,
what it was, but it was alluded to throughout the whole thing.
Because
when if you know the story of Bishop Eddie Long, if you knew what it was, what they were paralleling, then the light bulb came on for you maybe faster than for others.
What got me upset is the fact that they're grown. They're grown. To me, that doesn't matter. No matter what it is, it was wrong. Whether they're grown, they're young, they 82, 29, it doesn't matter. But that part had me every time saying they're grown. So what? It's wrong.
A grown person can very much be groomed. You are going to this person for help, for whatever they went to him for.
The young boy said too at the end. He was going for him for help.
Yeah. And you use my vulnerability
against me.
So that's a form of assault. That's a form of like I said, grooming. So yeah, I mean, it's
because remember at one point she called it something else. Like this was well after we knew what it was, and this was after she caught them in the gym, which to me was a horrible. I don't mean horribly acting, but I just felt so horrible for her when she walked in at the gym. But it was a certain point where she said, she called it something else because she was like, well, you're supposed to be working on da 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 da. I forgot what I probably should watch it again, but she was referencing messing with boys, but she was calling it something else, and she was like, remember, you ain't supposed to be. It was, oh man, I can't remember, but it was like
I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember what it is that she called it either.
Yeah, she called it something else. Like she wouldn't say you ain't supposed to be messing with what, but this was after she caught him in that gym, and she was like, "Bruh, really, really."
Is this when he was trying to talk to the camera guy,
the sound
guy, sound guy?
Yep.
Not you trying to get on the documentary people. That's how you know. I feel like with him, it's a
compulsion. Like, I got a boyfriend. Remember the man said, "Well, my boyfriend."
He was like, "Honey, this is you barking up the wrong road." Okay.
Listen, it felt like a compulsion for him. Like he felt like he couldn't. Like you've gone through all of this scandal, all of these things. You've lost everything. You're trying to rebuild it, and you still don't have no self-control over yourself to not try and work your magic on this little boy that was helping y'all. So like at this point, I don't know if you need to go sit on somebody's sofa. You need to come to right. You need to come to the realization and come out the club. Listen.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't even perform it's one thing if he was by and could perform his husbandly duties halfway. Because when they tried to have sex and she was like,
no, I didn't think they had kids.
No, they didn't have kids.
I didn't think
there were no children.
You know what? Not gonna say nothing. Anyway. I know so many situations like that, child. Y'all married, y'all ain't had no kids. Y'all, how long y'all been married? What's going on? There's some people that don't want kids. I get it, but
I was halfway up. Felt sorry for Regina's character, but at the same time, Mama, you was in it. You wanted all the fancy cars and clothes and all that stuff. So did you really want to be out or what is it?
Yeah. There's some people that really try to make it work. Like, oh my goodness, like I know he's dealing with this.
Right, it's one thing if y'all try to do this church work together and y'all have different appetites. Listen, because this just happened on the House of the Dragons. They came to listen. I like this, you like that. Can we come together, do what we need to do, and when we've satisfied that obligation, then we are free to
Well,
do
Evie, I'm
whatever
gonna
they
give you
believe
another
that we need
example.
to do.
Think of, and these are two people who I know personally. Think of Andrew Gillum and R.J. Gillum.
Right. Because
Mm.
And there are countless number of politicians. I know we're talking about church, but you see this in politics where you know full well this man, every time he talks, sprinkles and pixie dust spew out his mouth at you.
I'm now. That's it.
not the pixie dust guy.
Child, you gonna always point out
Won't he though?
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is these are marriages of convenience where you knew what you was getting into.
Yeah.
Don't try to act
Absolutely.
all like you knew from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted people. I think my frustration with the characters on there is not frustration with the movie, but the frustration with the characters.
I can call
Is
out a
I
couple
need y'all to.
presiding bishops who that fall into that category. Shut up, Elton.
Child. I wanted people to be real. Okay, I want and we didn't get that. The ending was, and I know I'm talking about the ending a lot earlier. We're not even through all the questions, but like I wanted at some point these characters to be like, you know what? I think she got real. She looked when we seen her last shot.
At the end, that was her. For me, that was her
I'm finna get a
realization.
divorce, baby.
I cannot do this with this man. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
But
do it. But she was also,
looked,
but she had her own issues because she was also addicted to because there is a cachet, there is a type, there's something about being the first lady.
Mm-hmm.
You have your own fans, your own sycophants who always enlist, which is another reason why I cannot be a first lady, because there's always somebody, first lady, what can I do for you? What you need? Da, 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 da. They always in your face. Now, some of the women is in your face because they really want to help you and be an adjutant or an armor bearer and all those good things, and they believe in the ministry and all those things. There's some women who are always in your face because they're trying to get close to you so they could get up underneath your husband.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a revolve. You have to have a powerful discernment about people as a first lady, because there are always people trying to get into the inner circle for both good and bad reasons.
Right. Not even,
and you have to be able to discern the two.
Not even just to be up under your husband. Sometimes it's a church is like there's a clout in church. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that when I was in ministry and when I was being trained to be a pastor. That's another topic for another day.
Oh wow.
There was people because I was the leader of dance ministry.
Can you pray for me? I need hands laid on me.
Your hands ain't the hands that I want to give you.
You don't let everybody pray for you. Don't let
everybody pray for you. I mean, I ain't gonna pray no bad on you, but anyway, because I was the leader of dance and acting, all the youth stuff, people wanted to be around me, but I'm in my head, I'm like, but why? Is it because you think I'm anointed, or do you just want? It's like a popular thing, like this is Mean Girls or something. And I've seen people do this to like pastors, and oh my God, I just got prayed for pastor such and such, and da da da. I'm like, but do you know why? Why? Oh, they're anointed. Do you even know what anointing is? Like why? Why are you?
They in it for the wrong reasons.
Like a lot of people don't understand I think
I just need to know you can get a prayer through. That's my qualifications. You ain't got to be the pastor of the church.
You don't.
Do the Lord hear you? Can you get? I need somebody who, as soon as they say Lord, the Lord be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Because you talk to me all the time, so I'm like, what's happening? I need that type of person to pray for me, and that might necessarily be the pastor.
But you know what? I think too, a lot of people don't go to church trying to even have discernment anymore. A lot of people be in such a desperate place and a desperate position, and in the Black church, instead of a lot of times being taught to go and seek professional help, see a therapist, sit on somebody's couch, we were told go to church, and that's going to immediately solve all the problems. And then a lot of times pastors would prey on that. And I don't mean P-A-R-P-R-A-Y, I mean P-R-E-Y. And that's unfortunate. And what ended up happening is people dropped their discernment, and they wouldn't, try to figure out whether or not this person is somebody who was really out to help me or who could really go to God. and and that's going back in the day. But you talk about today, ain't no discernment going on. All they care about is how the church look, how big is it.
It's
How
Okay.
much money they
it's
making?
a whole fashion show to a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And it's like, even with a lot of people that are pastors and bishops, they're not even properly trained.
Exactly.
It's like they have that mindset of, I need a car and I need it. And I went to a church that actually, they made all of their pastors have a job. They made all their pastors have a job.
I don't know very many churches whose pastors don't have jobs.
But there are that don't.
There are like at the church that previous to the one that I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
When we started, he was the vice president of a pharmaceutical company. And the church got so big and the pull on him became so much, he had to leave his job to serve the church.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my father was an architect. He never quit his job. And he was a pastor. So again, this is 1%. This is a very small percentage of pastors who the only job that they have is them being the pastor of the church.
Because let's just be
They
clear.
got to have another job.
You ain't got mega churches all over the place like that. People seem to think that I forgot. There are very few mega churches out there. And to me, to qualify as a mega church, you talk about churches that have 2,500, 3,000 or better. You know, and there are not a lot. Most churches are small. You got, couple hundred maybe, and go from there. But I tell you one thing, just like they say, some of them little small run of the mill clubs that can only fit 20 people be some of the best places, some of the best churches be a smaller storefront church. And when you walk in the door, you feel it.
It's more personable. It's more personable. I've been to
big
churches before.
In the Bible, the church was the people walking about serving God, the true God. They had no building; they was walking around.
Let me tell y'all this, and this is something that I've been talking to people that I go to church with, and this is just my crazy thought. Think about how in biblical times, they went from having the priest that had to go and give a sacrifice. They couldn't even go to God for themselves. And then eventually Jesus came, and after Jesus left, and this was way after Jesus left, they started, the churches came after that because it had to evolve. I've been talking to people. I said, who's to say that we aren't in a point now, or past due a point where traditional church, as people have known it for how long, maybe in an evolution now where, okay, it has to evolve to something else, because having it the way it was at this point isn't meeting the needs of the people. I was saying this early on my life. You have generation now, many Generation Zers were not born in the church. They weren't raised in the church, ain't never been in the church, and ain't trying to go.
Right.
And so it may be a time for, Christians and the church to say, hey, we need to rethink this thing, because this ain't it. This ain't working. And just like the church had to become a thing, and it had to evolve from the tabernacles and the temples to the churches, it may be a time for another evolution. But the problem is nobody wants to move forward.
Nobody wants to change. They want to stick to the same status quo.
Yeah, nobody wants to change. But that's
that's a topic for another discussion.
This has so many grooves in it.
Yeah. Now, what was your guys' thoughts? Just to segue again, there were some people. Cause I've seen this one video. This one lady was like, "Oh, well, this film and films like it stereotypes black megachurches." Do you feel like it's a stereotype?
No, because it. Because it keeps
happening. It kind of gets into your. I mean, I don't know if this really speaks to your
situation,
your opinion a little bit, like your unpopular.
Yes, but at the same time, some stereotypes are real, are truthful.
Some stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
But
they didn't come from nowhere.
like Auntie Eb was saying, this is just a certain percentage of the church, where people, I think, you know what, and I know the church demonizes a lot of people, but people demonize the church as well.
Yes.
Okay.
People demonize the church as well. When I hear that old saying, this is why I don't go to church, stop your lying. You don't go to church because you don't want to, and it's fine. Stop blaming other people.
Say it again.
This is why I don't go to church, and that's why I don't fuck with the church.
Everything is this is why I don't
go. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's fine. And a lot of people have been hurt by the church. In the words of the old girl that was drinking that dollar juice, bitch me too. But that's not going to stop my relationship with God. I think a lot of people allow their past situations with the church to stop their relationship with God. And that has nothing to do with it.
Well, can you have a relationship with God without going to church? Just for some people that choose to.
You can. You can.
Absolutely can.
You can, but the Bible clearly says, forsake not yourself the assembling of the brethren, which means
you gotta pray. Like, allow God to. It's like you want to be a doctor and you're not going to school for it.
Come on, study to show yourself approved.
Say that again.
I said you got to study to show yourself approved, boo. That's how that works.
You know what one of my problems is too, and they didn't touch on this. That's why I say they got so many things that they didn't touch on. Like, for example, one of my issues with churches nowadays is there's no atmosphere. And I do think that you do have to set an atmosphere. And for me, and you learn this from biblically with God and his angels. Before Lucifer was sent on down, he was number 2, wasn't he? He was the number 2 God. He was the highest rated angel. And what was he over? He was
the
music.
And because even God knew, if I'm gonna come in the room, if I'm gonna do whatever I do, what do I need? I need good music. I need to set my atmosphere. You go to some of these places and it's be like, listen, this ain't
the music is trash.
And people think that that's not important. All I got to do is get up there and get a good sermon.
It's been important. It's always been important. It's always going to be important.
I'm in a prayer group. One of the first things we pray for is the worship, because we don't want no boring ass worship.
Listen. I do not, as a Levite, because I am on the praise and worship team. First of all, pray for your people who are on your praise and worship team at your church, because it is a very difficult job. Not only do we have to fight through whatever it is that we've been through that week, and whatever we coming into the church with, we try and shake it off before we get there. But we also have to fight through everything that everybody who's in that edifice has been through that week to set the atmosphere so the word can go forth like it's supposed to. So it is a very hard thing because it is praise and worship is a spiritual warfare situation whenever you get up there to set the appropriate atmosphere so that the word can go down into good ground. It's our job to break up, like you and your husband just got into an argument in the parking lot on your way into the church. Now we got to break through all of that to get to soften your heart so you can hear from the Lord. Whatever, you came in and the usher was real nasty to you. You're supposed to be hospitable. And now you got an attitude. Now whatever we do in praise and worship has to sing a sweet song to your soul to ease whatever hurt the nasty usher done gave you walking in the door, because they wasn't hospitable, because they mad because they got to stand up on their feet and that one corner on their big toe work. So now they nasty to everybody. So it's setting the atmosphere. First of all, it starts with, because we have intercessory prayer like for almost 30 minutes before praise and worship starts. And then that leads into praise and worship. So we pick up the exaltation at the end of the prayer into praise and worship. It is a very difficult. Listen. If y'all don't understand why we tired when we come off this
Let me ask you this, Darren.
Exhausted, like we've been in a physical fight.
Right.
What are the stereotypes you were talking about? What specific stereotypes were you speaking of? because there could be any number of stereotypes that you're saying that it was trying to project
Right.
onto
I
the
mean,
mega churches.
some of the common ones is like when you don't not preaching what you not being what you preach. The scandals. There's always a scandal going on. Just a lot of the stuff that happened on the on the actual movie. You get what I'm saying? That's what people were kind of like. It's like, oh, y'all focusing way too much on that, or this is trying to make the black church look bad. And I don't know. I mean, I think that I think that we shouldn't generalize because, like I said, I think before we got on the show, there are churches that are pure in their intentions to save people and be guidance and stuff like that. But like, this thing called art, and I'm a film person. I love movies and stuff like that. They have an obligation to also tell the truth and to talk about these toxicities so that we can spread awareness. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, but we can't expect the church to be perfect.
Right.
Right.
So
Still
my
people and men.
Aaron, have you seen The Righteous Gemstones?
The what?
The Righteous
I've been
Gemstones?
meaning to watch that.
No.
Oh, it's so
It's
good.
a show on HBO. It's
So
this
good.
exact thing, only white people.
So good.
It's the same. It's the same. It's a
just
white mega
mega
church. It's the same thing with the head of the church and his children and the family, and it's a bunch of foolishness. It's the exact same thing as
Exact
this.
same thing, but it's just a white
only
mega.
it's white
It's
people.
just a white mega church.
There was
Right.
a show on Fox with Kim Cattrall where she played like the I think the pastor had died, but he didn't end up dying. And he had like
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking. I
That
can't
was
think of the name of the
good.
show.
It
It's
was
like
really good. I forgot
was
the name
really
of it. And
good.
it got canceled.
and like the prodigal daughter came back and she tried to
And
take
she
her
like owned like a
Filthy Rich.
something
That's
or
Xavier said. Filthy Rich. That's what it was
Filthy
called.
Rich.
It was really
Oh
good.
my god, that was so good.
Hmm.
That was so good.
But these stereotypes are there for a reason. It happens. It is reality,
And when
and
you're
that's why
thinking
people
about
get
movie
mad.
making, you gotta put some stuff in there that's gonna be, you gotta make a movie, you gotta make
If
drama.
people did not, um, what's the word I'm looking for? If people did not recognize it, or people couldn't, say, yeah, that's kind of true, then they wouldn't feel no kind of way. They'll be like, oh, okay. But it's because it's real, and people have really been there.
Yeah. And I've seen this person that because I read a BuzzFeed article about this movie, and the person said the examination of church culture is only taboo when it's from someone who's on the outside. So this is like, these are the people that created the show essentially are the outside looking in on this culture, making a movie about them. Like, that shouldn't be done, I guess.
Right. Because for some people, this is just a normal Sunday, and this is what happens. And
Well, the thing about it,
like the thing with, and I hate to bring up this nigga, but the thing with Bishop Lie a lot, and somebody showed where he was preaching and wasn't no oil to be found anywhere near that man. No oil, no anointing, no nothing. No yokes were broken. Nobody was being set free. The shackles was firmly on the people. And he went to speak. The lady went to speaking in tongues, and then he started to speak in tongues. He started to shama mama da da ba shebu. That's not, baby. That's not it. I'm gonna need you to go back down to the altar till you get it. And I saw comments talk about heavenly language, speaking in tongues. What is that? That's just foolishness. I was like, oh, baby, you have no idea. Okay.
well,
Clearly, you don't go to church, so you don't know, baby. You don't know. Okay.
I think that to answer the question, I think if the church is, because sometimes the church is never going to put its own business out there.
Yeah.
It's not.
So sometimes you need an outside entity to say, yeah, let me show you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's what did I have? Because I had something in there. I said, but
And that's why I don't like pastors who have a bunch of yes men and do boys around him. I need you to have some real people. I need you to have some truth tellers in your corner. I need you to have some people who's not, when you dead wrong, they're going to be like, no, even though you my pastor, you my leader, you the angel of this house. No, sir, you're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong.
I don't talk about the incarnation of Saul.
I'm not doing that with you, sir. We're not, because that's not.
I don't touch him. I treat him like the candy man.
Now this also
him.
Right. This also is something I want to talk about too. So like, what was you guys' thoughts on Black people's negative reactions to the show? Because we have this thing in our community, and this is universal for everything, where groups and organizations shouldn't, or be like, they can't be held accountable because these are Black organizations. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's we can't do this to our Black owned businesses, or we can't do this. Like, this is putting each other down, crab in the bucket. Like, I know watching this film, my dad was like, oh my goodness, like, where are the films that talk about white churches and stuff like that? Which
it's already there.
It's already
there.
I didn't even need to say that.
But I mean, we say it all the time. People need to actually understand it. Black people are not a monolith, just like Black churches are not a monolith. They're not all the same. So just like you've got good churches and good pastors and things of that nature, you also have the opposite. So, how can you recognize the good if you never point out the bad? You know what I'm saying? Right. You have to have one to balance the other.
I agree.
So, and I know that a lot of people are protective of the Black church because they always feel like they're under attack, but you can't be so protective that it's to a fault to where they can't do no wrong in your eyes, regardless of what's being happening, even though they are blatantly doing things that are wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a generational thing, because the older saints, this movie would be blasphemy and an abomination.
It sure would.
To speak ill of the church and the man of God, regardless of what it is that he's done.
They'll tell you better not go watch it. And if you do, you go into hell.
Let me pray for you. Let me pray for you real quick.
Oh Lord!
Watching that old disgusting demonic ass movie.
They'll be preaching fire and brimstone on you.
All of that they would be doing.
Yeah,
baby, you'll be at the altararian. You will be at the altar.
Just get down on the altar and call on Jesus till you get it.
But what you said is true. Like, Black people are not monolithic, and I think that it's just this. It almost, and I hope I'm not comparing apples to oranges, but it almost kind of reminds me of the slap situation that happened at the Oscars, and there were so many Black people talking about oh my goodness, like, this is making us look bad. Like, why would he get on that prestigious award show and do that? It sets us back, and it's just like,
because just like every 90% of Black mamas, wherever you show out, that's where I show out. That's why he did what he did. Now he done talked to this little raggedy ass man 1,500 times. Stop talking about my wife.
Exactly.
And you decide now, why isn't everybody then looking at the person who committed the offense for Will Smith to be so offended to get up and do such a thing? Now, how many times I know you supposed to turn the cheek, and now I done ran out of cheeks at this point. And so at this point, I got to meet you where you at. And where you at is on some fuck shit. So where you show out, that's where I'm gonna show out. Pop, pop.
And if it happens to be at an Oscar show, it happens to be at an Oscar
show. That's what it is. Just like when Cardi threw that shoe at Nicki at them white people's fancy fashion party. Bitch, when I said it was on site, that's what the fuck I mean.
I'm gonna tell you what my pastor would have done when I was growing up. He wouldn't have preached fire, but he would have told you, no, don't stop them from watching it. Let them go on over there and watch this. And he would have had a whole sermon, break it down. You see, when they did this, let me give you the scripture to tell you why you should be doing that, and tell you how we ain't doing that over here. That's what my pastor
that's not a bad way of doing it.
Go watch it, please, because I'm gonna go break this whole thing down
right
next Sunday,
so that you can recognize when foolishness is happening. That helps with your discernment.
Yeah.
If you don't ever see the foolishness, then when it starts to happen around you, you won't recognize the signs.
You don't see it coming.
You won't see it coming.
They lost the purpose of what they're doing it for. It's for the people. It's not for the glitz and the glamour and all of this stuff. They forgot.
It's not so you can wear gooey
Because there are
product,
a
and
lot of
all of those
people, I'm
things.
telling you, there are
Ministry.
people, it may not be the pastor, it could be the deacon
Mm-hmm.
that get approached by somebody at church, and you like deer in the headlights. What the hell do I do? Because you know you can't go to your parents and tell your parents that so and so. You fear of it's there. It's just a horrific feeling
Mhm.
when you have to go through situations like that. So, if in order to shed light on it and be able to, let people know what to look for and what to do, hell, why not?
True.
I'm just
True.
saying.
Now,
Before you go and marry this man who telling you he's finna be the pastor of this mega church, you may need to ask yourself, am I signing up for
Uh-uh.
this?
Listen, I need to know how you manage your funds, how you I need to test your integrity in certain situations because you're going to be tested over and over and over again because the devil going to try and figure out what it is that he needs to present to you that's going to make you fall so he can embarrass the church. And that's the beginning and the end of it.
Mhm.
mm,
Pride is one of the most reasons why a lot of these pastors go. It's pride. It's really is pride.
Absolutely. Pride go before a haughty spirit and a haughty spirit before a
And
fall.
so that's why you gotta remember what you're doing it for. You're not doing it for the glitz and the glamour. You're doing it for the people. You gotta
yeah.
sacrifice what you want for these people most of the time.
Yeah.
Your flesh got to die on a daily
People don't
basis.
understand that they get so
And
comfortable.
that is hard. That shit is hard.
Difficult because
Oh,
my spirit be willing, but my
that thing be like
flesh,
Venom in Spider-Man.
you know what?
It's
Right.
the truth. I did that in a Bible study. They started laughing. I said it'd be like Venom in Spider-Man.
I cannot. Oh my God. Okay, so I want to
But
say
it's the
thank
truth.
you.
It's
I
so
gotta
true though.
go
Oh, you
because
gotta go.
I gotta go now because I'm supposed to be somewhere else because I don't be following directions. Thank y'all for having
All right.
me.
Well, thank you so much for being on here.
No problem. I will chat later. Bye.
All right. Bye. I mean, I guess to move on. I had a couple more topics before we close out, but one thing we kind of got to talking about it, but we kind of left it. But the other couple, like the other pastor and the first lady,
Definitely want to touch on that.
that was definitely their character was definitely interesting
Oh, it's
because
cutthroat like that.
yeah,
Oh, it is cutthroat like
They
that
ain't shit either.
with churches.
They
Mhm.
wasn't shit either.
and I thought they were going to be like, okay, this is going to be the good example. This is going to be the
I
good.
didn't think so. I didn't think so. And shout out, I love the actress. She's so beautiful to me.
I love her too. You seen her in that Black Mirror episode?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
That was good. I remember her from Sleepy Hollow.
Oh no, I never seen.
Yes, she was on Sleepy Hollow. You just reminded me of that.
I love they had her look different and everything.
Mm.
Gorgeous. And she's been on a lot of things too. But I think they acted that way because that's the way how they were taught.
That
They
is
weren't
real.
taught properly.
I'm taking your members, sure am.
He said, "Oh, I'm taking your members."
It's for clout. They do everything for clout.
And
they
you
think
can see them following the same footsteps.
But you can see they're a little progressive though because the wife was preaching with him, so it was more. I thought they were going to be different.
It's a thing. Sometimes you in a Bible study with somebody, they see your people, they say, oh, they serve like that. They try to take them away from you. It's like Pokemon. You're trying to catch them all. Like it's like it's not glorifying the house of the Lord. They're glorifying the house of themselves. Like you want to be. It's very much like a Hollywood thing. The church.
Yeah.
Why
Xavier said I knew he was a shit when the man was preaching in shorts. When was
now stop.
He was.
I don't remember, but
the younger pastor.
Yeah.
Was he in shorts? He might have been.
Remember, but not in shorts.
We gotta look at it. We gotta watch it again.
What that guy? I gotta. Me too. Like a lot of things I missed.
Right. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that
listen, when you have churches going against each other, and they will take your members in a minute, and not blink.
You better come here.
Anything they could do.
We teach realness, okay?
Matter of fact, don't mess around and have your church go visit another church because that pastor gonna break out his best sermon. for that church. His best sermon. He gonna bring his whole choir with him, and they better sing the best song just so you can get steal some people from that church and get them to come to yours.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was interesting to watch too when they was having their little conversation. It was like, oh, we wanted to start on Easter, and then she was like, no, like they was. I was like, well, okay. I'm like, dang, ain't no
And then
loyalty.
they moved to starting the week before when they found out they would start the week before.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, sure.
What kind of church is y'all? And y'all didn't mention Palm Sunday.
Right, because that is the Sunday before Easter.
I was like, you mean Palm Sunday?
Right, exactly.
So none of y'all know that was Palm Sunday?
Mm-hmm. It surely is Palm Sunday.
I ain't seen not a palm.
Not a palm, not one. That's how you know ain't no oil in that place. Baby, y'all gonna have palms in there. Oh
man. So did we expect more from the ending? I think that's I'll go first. I felt like I wanted a little more. We get that she got the realization towards the end, like, okay, this isn't working for me. We never see what she's gonna do because the movie cuts to black. But like, I don't know. I kind of wanted to see them understand that, hey, I'm not straight. Let's get a divorce. Like I wanted that completion of this film because I feel like we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for him to address his issues, and he get called out. I thought when the boy was calling him out, I'm like, you know what, he's right. I gotta come clean, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do something. But like nothing. Like, and he act completely unhinged throughout the end. I was almost looking at him like, bitch, are you crazy?
Yeah, I didn't like the ending at all. I wasn't here for the ending. It was just like it was too abrupt. It was like, wait, because I was like, I was looking like, because I watched it on Peacock. So I was like, wait a minute, I have to go and look. Wait, did I miss something?
No.
So
I do like endings that are like that leave subject to the imagination, but they needed more not backstory, but more like more of a
no closure.
Climax.
Yeah, there was no closure.
No closure, right? You could have had a part of a closure, or at least allotted to something. Like you just have the film and her. I thought my subscription went blank because when I said I didn't pay it.
Like I had to check. Like, girl, what happened?
It didn't stick the landing. It did not stick the landing.
Right.
That's what I didn't like about the film. It just I love a film with an ending, like a real. I would
have actually like if what's his name, Austin Curate had a bigger role. Like you got into like I wanted to know more. Like what I just wanted to know what did this man do exactly?
Yeah.
Did he rape them? Did he like date rape? What did he do? Did he record like that bishop on Twitter? Did he record them in elaborate acts? What did he do?
Well,
you mean the man who did it with the OnlyFans boy?
Cat, that's what his name is, Fat Cat.
The one who did it with the OnlyFans boy.
Mm-hmm. He be with everybody.
He have big stuff.
But he don't use it.
He did. No, he did use it on the boy.
Oh, I thought you meant the boy himself.
No, I'm talking about the pastor.
Dwayne Dwalkin.
He looked old and decrepit, so I wasn't really looking at him.
It's real messy. Okay,
Messy
boots. We don't know what he did. Like I said, the movie wanted to keep it.
It allowed you to insert the blanks.
Yeah, but I kind of don't like things like that because it's just like what is it like? Tell us what it is. I mean, I would have loved if they had like you know how them old black films used to be. Oh, I'm hopeful. Yes, I am too.
And that would be a whole different movie, though. It would have been a whole different movie, and that was not this. This was not. That was not this. It gave really like skit tease, just a long ass skit.
Yeah. I loved her monologue too, towards like when she went inside after he got cursed out by the boy, like and she came to the realization. I was waiting for him to be like, come on, like be real, be who you are.
But she still wasn't shit though.
And I was like, dang, I need some type of growth. I love characters that have good character development. He was the villain of the show. I wanted him to come to the realization, but maybe it wouldn't have looked right, or it wouldn't have been right for what they were going for. I never watched. I heard of the little skit that came from before this movie, like the Issa Rae production thing, because it was a YouTube video before it became a movie. I don't know how that ended, but I don't know. I guess I just wanted a little bit more, you know.
So I just got messed up because I found out. You made me think about Issa. You ever seen that the thing that was on Issa Rae channel called Giants?
No.
There was on her YouTube channel. There was a great series called Giants. And the guy who's the creator, he's one of the main characters on that. I just found out he was gay, and it just blew my mind. Like, I just did not see him being gay at all. It just blew my freaking mind. And I was like, shut up. Because my dar is impeccable. Yeah. Like, my dar is impeccable. And so for you to fool me, I was like, shut up. Girl, I'm sorry. That was a sidebar. But no, you should watch. It's a great show on Issa Rae's YouTube channel called Giant.
Okay,
I was freaking hooked on it.
Yeah. This was actually done by the production was done by, I think, Jordan Peele's like Monkey Paw Productions, which I thought was interesting because we know that Jordan Peele, he's more like he's even though he's doing the whole horror thing right now, he's also comedic as well, which kind of makes sense. But this was kind of, it felt off. Like just in a nutshell, this movie felt really off. I liked it though. I love how, how it went and how I thought this was just gonna be a regular comedy, but it ended up being like a little serious little thing. I don't know. I mean, it just.
Who was one of the children?
He's talking about the guy who I was talking about, James Bland, who's the creator and main character on Giants.
I don't know what Giants is.
It's a series on Issa Rae's channel. Go to Issa Rae's channel and look up Giants. It's phenomenal. It's
her YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, she still got
the videos. Got that?
Yeah, she still got her videos, all of them.
I remember Awkward Black Girl before when she just had like the frizzy.
Like Giants will have you hooked, like you'll be like hooked. Like it's like that good.
Oh, she's good.
Okay, we'll definitely check it out. But any final thoughts on the movie?
He was on the last season of Issa Rae. He dated
her brother.
He was straight on there. He's straight on all his film. He dated my girl, Natasha Rothwell.
Natasha Ralph?
Natasha Rothwell's character.
Oh, Rockwell. I call her. Sorry, Lord.
Who?
No disrespect to that amazing. I love her.
Kelly. Yeah, he dated Kelly.
He dated Kelly.
I gotta watch the last season. I didn't finish it.
I think I know who you're talking about.
His name is James Bland.
Okay, let me look him up.
James Bland. That sounds familiar.
Is it James? I know his last name is Bland. I think it's James Bland. I think it is. I think it's James.
You talking about this dude?
Yes.
Oh, he looks familiar. Oh, he was in this movie, right? As a pastor?
He was?
No.
The young pastor?
No, he wasn't in this movie.
No.
I've seen him in stuff. I forgot what the other pastor looked like.
He was dark, yeah.
I see Giant. Oh wow, Giants is on. It's on BET Plus now. Oh wow,
Giants was so good. So I'm mad that
it was a YouTube show.
Yes,
the Miss.
It was a regular. It could have been on anybody's television.
Right.
Like it was that good. It was that good. I got hooked because there was a gay character on there, but it wasn't him.
On where?
On Giants.
On Giants, okay.
But it wasn't his character. Yeah, he was Kelly's baby daddy at the end.
Oh, Kelly had a kid.
Yeah, I forgot about that. No, I don't
I
remember.
gotta finish up. I think the last episode on the last season I watched was when they got robbed by that girl that was at the.
That was the first episode.
Yeah, that was episode 1.
Well, that's what I'm at.
Girl,
if you don't go and watch,
girl,
I have a peripheral of things to do. I gotta wait. I gotta
finish watching Jeffrey Dahmer because I'm on episode 4 and Jeffrey Dahmer
I'm scared to watch that.
Wait, it's out now.
Oh yes, it came out yesterday.
Evan Peters is an amazing actor, and I'm scared of him.
Listen, oh my
They
god,
about the sexual, and this is really bad. They are about to sexualize the shit out of him. Like, I think when it comes to like true crime culture, like the way we are so obsessed with true crime stories and movies and content and stuff like that,
I'm old enough to remember.
No, I'm definitely watch it. But like,
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm kind of.
Damn, they gave us the whole season.
I'm old enough to remember when this happened, and so I remember the players and stuff.
Girl, I'm about to text my best friend because we supposed to be ciao.
Anyway, I'm supposed to be going somewhere tonight. They calling me now.
Where you going? I think I know where you're going.
What?
I'm cooking. That's all I'm doing, and I've got to finish watching the rest of Drag Race UK.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be there by 10 o'clock.
You got to get up out of here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be somewhere by 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, that's early. I said I think I know where you're going.
Where I'm going?
I'm not going. I'm not going to say out loud.
Not on the live, honey.
I'm not going on a booty call. I wish I was.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think that, but it was along those lines.
No.
We like to party.
Yeah.
A friend of ours is going to do their first show, and they want us to come.
What show? What kind of is it? A comedy?
No, it's a drag show.
Ooh.
Oh,
you know what? I need to go see what's his name? Ty. But
you do. He just won semifinals. He's gonna be in the finals.
He all over my. He was on my page the other day, dancing lip syncing to some gospel song.
Mm-hmm. We getting too off topic. Let's talk backstage.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Thank y'all so much for being on the show.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for. I got scissors in my hand.
Oh yeah, right. It was scissors hand, child. No, okay. So thank you so much for being on the show. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll be going live tomorrow with my usual hot topics. You know, we got to get into some things.
I never get your notifications, sir.
Huh?
I never get notifications from
you. Hot topics.
You don't get notified when I be on live? I'm shadow.